that laboratory equipment and potentially hazardous materials were being stored at a residence in the northeast part of our town. As our investigation progressed, we determined that the home was owned by the same individual connected to a prior illegal biolab investigation in Reedley, California that occurred in 2023. The nature of that earlier investigation raised significant concern for what we might encounter in this new case. In Reedley, investigators reportedly discovered an illegal biolab containing materials possibly associated with a range of infectious diseases, including hepatitis, COVID, HIV, malaria, and other potentially dangerous pathogens. While it is unknown whether similar materials were present here at the Las Vegas residence, the possibility required us to proceed with extreme caution. Because of these concerns, LVMPD's counterterrorism section and our Armor Task Force, in partnership with the FBI, immediately initiated a joint investigation and began developing detailed operational plans to address this potential threat. Out of an abundance of caution, extensive preparations were made. Resources were mobilized from across Clark County, the city of Las Vegas, as well as our other state and federal partners, to include some from outside of our region, to ensure that this operation could be conducted safely. The main suspect in this case, who you're going to see a photograph on the screen next to me here in just a second, is the owner of the house on Sugar Springs Drive. He's already in federal custody on charges related to the investigation of the biolab in Reedley, California in 2023. I'm sorry. So that's not the main suspect. This is the main suspect in the California case. The primary suspect we arrested, however, is Mr. Ari Solomon. He's 55 years old, and his initial charge was a charge of disposing and discharging hazardous waste. Solomon is believed to be the property manager for both houses on Sugar Springs and Temple View. As previously briefed, the first phase of this operation began early Saturday morning. You're going to start to see a number of images from this as I talk. At approximately 5:51, our LVMPD SWAT team served a search warrant at the residence on Sugar Springs Drive. There were 3 individuals inside of that home. Each had independently rented a room from the property owner. They were safely removed from the residence, and at this time, they are not involved in this investigation. Based on the information we received, investigators believe that the locked garage was the primary location of the potential biological and hazardous materials. The search warrant was authored by LVMPD's counterterrorism section, and our multi-agency teams began preparing to deploy to the scene. To safely manage the risk, a layered use of technology, as you see here to my left, was employed throughout this operation. LVMPD police drones were deployed from the onset, providing a real-time aerial and situational awareness as SWAT secured the residence. Drone feeds were monitored remotely, allowing commanders to assess conditions, adjust tactics, and limit officer exposure in real time. We also employed our robot dog. Before we entered the room, the tactical robot was deployed to clear the interior and conduct initial air sampling. The robot can open doors, navigate stairs, and transmit video in real time, allowing officers to assess the conditions before entering a dangerous environment. Once this residence was cleared, LVMPD's Armor team entered the scene. Armor, for those of you that don't know, is our all-hazard regional multi-agency operations and response unit. They do all of the gamut of the CBRNE. Wearing protective equipment, including respirators, the team drilled a small access point into the interior door leading to the garage and inserted a probe to assess air quality. A pinhole camera was also deployed, transmitting live video to the command post and to our Fusion Watch Operations Center here at headquarters. Almost immediately, investigators observed multiple refrigerators, a freezer, and other laboratory-type equipment, along with numerous bottles and jugs containing unknown liquid substances. These items, importantly, were consistent in appearance to the items found and described in the Reedley, California lab investigation. After initial assessments were completed, the Armor team escorted FBI scientists and specialized evidence collection team into the garage. Investigators observed one refrigerator that was still opening and wrapped in the household plastic wrap, along with the freezer that was plugged in and running. You'll see some of that in that video. When the refrigerator and freezer were opened, our investigators identified a significant volume of material, including various vials and storage containers with liquids of different colors and compositions. Additional containers were located throughout the garage, along with laboratory equipment and other specialized items. The scene presented a high level of complexity with materials that had not been identified, that have not been yet identified, and still require careful assessment. Some items appeared consistent with biological and chemical storage, which necessitated additional precautions. The operation required multiple carefully controlled entries into potentially contaminated areas, and each entry involved strict safety protocols and extensive decontamination procedures for personnel. And we also have to decontaminate all of the equipment each time it comes out and goes back in. As a result, the operation was conducted in a slow, methodical manner. To maximize safety and visibility, large-scale evidence collection was prioritized during daylight hours on Sunday, while additional investigative work and coordination continued overnight. Evidence collection was completed at approximately 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. At the same time, the collected items were transported to a Southern Nevada Health District facility for temporary temperature-controlled storage. The final phase of the operation began focusing on the remediation of the target location. A professional remediation team was contacted to conduct that work, which we completed at approximately 2:30 this morning. Following remediation, final site checks were conducted, all of our units were demobilized,